In today's episode, we're going to talk about EI, which is emotional intelligence, and how with the right awareness, understanding, and mastery of emotional intelligence, you can not only take control of your music career, but you can also create a more enjoyable and creative output in your day-to-day activities. If you are watching this, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Musicians Creating Prosperity podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Fabiana Claure. And in today's episode, we have an impactful conversation around how mastering your emotional intelligence can allow you to elevate your leadership and create a more rewarding and fulfilling career in the music industry. We'll discuss how you can not only understand what emotional intelligence is, but also what are some ways that you can create practical systems that allow you to foster, develop, and master your emotions to be able to enjoy your career, be able to handle the ups and downs that are always inevitable part of being a creative entrepreneur, and ultimately create a more rewarding career where you not only enjoy the results that come externally, but also you know what are the internal inputs that you're doing from your perspective, your mastery of your emotional intelligence that enable you to see the external results that you're wanting to see. So let's talk about emotional intelligence. What does this mean? You may have been hearing a lot of buzz these days on AI and the importance of artificial intelligence, and it's a big buzz, and I'll probably do an episode later on talking about AI. But today we're talking about EI. Why does emotional intelligence matter? Well, because your ability to understand and manage your own emotions will absolutely make or break everything else that you're building in your career. When you recognize that the way you think, the way you make decisions, and the way you create your own self-regulation strategies can define everything else that you're building, all of a sudden you realize that you are in the driver's seat and that you in fact have control. So let's talk about the 5 key components of emotional intelligence. We have self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Why is this relevant for musicians? Well, in the music industry, collaboration, creativity, and personal branding are crucial. And when you have a solid understanding of emotional intelligence, then you have a game changer asset in your business that allows you to create control and ultimately enjoy more everything you're doing. You see, when you master emotional intelligence, you have better mechanisms to navigate the complexities of interpersonal relationship and manage your emotions when they're high, when they're low, which are always going to be part of a creative and entrepreneurial career, right? So why does EI matter in leadership? Let's talk about leadership first and foremost. Well, when you are in charge of managing other people, whether it's people in your team or you are leading your clients or even leading yourself, when you understand emotional intelligence and become masterful in the different ways of regulating your emotions, you actually create a better positive environment, not only for yourself, but for those around you. You're able to manage stress. You're able to create open communication channels. People around you feel available and willing to share their thoughts. And it takes a village to build a music business. And so the more you can master your ability to create that welcoming environment in those around you, the better chances you'll grow your business in a sustainable way, right? So oftentimes leaders in the music industry have to inspire and guide, diverse audiences, people with different backgrounds, different interests. And so the more you can be, informed and educated around how can you be that leader that it welcomes other perspectives and that creates a open channel of communication, the more you work on your leadership skills as something of a craft, just like you have in your music skills. Leadership skills are things you can develop. You may have heard the term, oh, this person's a natural born leader. Or you may have heard someone refer to, oh, this person's a naturally talented musician. Yes, it is true that there are people who have these skills already developed to a certain extent from the get-go. But that doesn't mean that for those of us who are in the process of growing, that we couldn't develop these skills just as much, right? So when you think about leadership, a big part of your ability to inspire others will be how do you communicate? How do you convey the vision for what you want? And how do you rally people into that vision so that they are wanting to be a part of it, whether they are collaborators, whether they want to refer opportunities to you, whether they want to actually become clients or be a part of your team. The more you can understand emotional intelligence and be willing to consciously deploy these tools in every interaction that you have with your team, the more loyal and excited people you're going to build around you. Now, why is this important for collaboration and creativity? Well, when you master your emotional intelligence skills, you can significantly enhance other people's willingness to collaborate with you and to be creative around you, right? Because you build a safe environment. And this is going to allow them to be free and to actually take creative risks. The last thing you want is to be the leader who is creating a tense environment around you where people don't feel that they can actually experiment with things and take creative risks. So one of the things you want to welcome as you are looking into developing your leadership skills and seeing how it does emotional intelligence impact your ability to lead is showing your willingness to be vulnerable and to embrace vulnerability in those around you, right? Where you're not trying to be the perfect person all the time and trying to just be the wise person at the top of the mountain, pointing fingers down and telling the villagers what to do. But instead, you're sharing your vulnerability, maybe your decision-making patterns, maybe in some moments of your journey, you ask for help in a more open way, and you show where you're acknowledging maybe some flaws, some mistakes, and this can actually invite the people around you to show up and impact you. And I'm going to think about a story now that I was just experiencing this past week in my business. And I was meeting with some of the members of my team, and we were specifically talking about marketing and the different strategies that are required and that I'm supposed to be doing as the visionary, the CEO, like the voice and the brand of the business. And there were some things that I was supposed to do that I hadn't been doing, right? And so my team was asking me, hey, we're not seeing any content on your personal, socials. We're seeing content on other platforms, but not on your personal profile. And the truth is, I had dropped the ball. I hadn't been paying much attention to my personal profile and had kind of outsourced more of my posting and content to the systems that I already have with automations, with my team, et cetera, that just primarily transcribe and use the content that I build and repurpose it. But there were other elements of what I needed to share that I hadn't been doing simply because my attention was elsewhere. And in the meeting with my team, I acknowledged that. I took responsibility. I said, hey, you're right. I have not shown up in this way, in the way I know I'm supposed to. I've been distracted with other things that have taken priority. And I'm struggling. I'm really struggling right now to kind of keep up with all the things that I know I'm supposed to do. And this led to one of my team members who helps me with operations and kind of being my right-hand person and overseeing all the things that I'm doing to offer a brain dump. And, she said, let's have a one-on-one. Let's discuss how can you dump things off of your plate and allow me to take them for you so you can free yourself up and have more space for content creation, for creativity, for mic time, which is ultimately the most important thing that you need to do as the leader and the visionary of the business. And so this was such a helpful experience because, oh my goodness, I felt so supported that my team saw that I had too much on my plate and that I was willingly accepting and acknowledging that. And if I had not been willing to say, yes, I'm falling behind on this area. You're right. I haven't shown up. I take responsibility. I need to figure out what I can do to restructure my duties to create more content and to do things in a better way, more consistent way. If I would have not accepted that feedback from my team with an openness and a willingness to be transparent, then my team wouldn't have offered to help me. And I would still have 10 times more things on my plate than I do now. After that brain dump session that I had with my team, I felt so supported, so relieved to be able to just say, okay, here are the things that are occupying mental space. I'm just going to lay them all out. And I'm going to invite you to just brainstorm with me. How can you help me? Because you don't have to always have all the answers. You don't have to always say, this is what I need. I need it to be done this way. Sometimes you just need to have someone who's willing to listen to you and receive and be a part of the brainstorming process alongside of you, and then get support in that way, right? So that was an example of like, oh my goodness, I felt so supported. And I was just so grateful that I was willing to accept the shortcomings, if you will, of my actions. And that led to my team stepping up and saying, how can I help you? Let's work on this together and let's move forward as a team. Right. So that awareness of like being okay with showing yourself in a vulnerable way when it's necessary, when it's true, is going to only empower your team to help you, which is what you want at the end of the day. Right. Now, let's talk about self-awareness practices. You cannot show up effectively and master emotional intelligence if you're not aware of how you're feeling and what to do about those feelings, right? So some of the practices that I've really developed that have helped me and that I'm hoping will help you includes just practicing, self-awareness techniques. So I love to meditate. I meditate every single morning. It puts me in a state of just reflection, just connection and introspection. And meditation is my go-to. I also like to journal. I will say I don't do it as often as I should, but I do notice a big difference when I do create some time for journaling and just fleshing out my thoughts in a written form and just reflecting on it. It just helps me be more clear throughout the day on what do I actually need to focus on. There's nothing more powerful than just setting your intention in the morning and saying, this is what I want to focus on today. And I'm going to, organize my day around it to make sure that it doesn't get just buried in other things. So self-awareness practices can include journaling, meditation, and just having anything that allows you to connect with your deeper feelings and ideas. Practicing the piano for me is also wonderful because it puts me in a state of just complete connection with my creativity, my emotions. And so being as a musician, anything that puts you in that state of flow is one of the best ways to kind of get yourself grounded. And when you are grounded, you can help other people in a better way. Techniques for self-regulation. So we talked about self-awareness, but now let's talk about self-regulation. What does self-regulation mean? These are ways where you can regulate your nervous system and calm yourself in a way where you can open up more ideas, you can become more calm and effective in your communications. So techniques like deep breathing, taking breaks, just going out on a walk, trying to be outdoors throughout the day, practicing gratitude, all these things can help you calm your nervous system. I think we live in an era where we're so busy all the time and just doing one thing after the next that subconsciously our nervous system feels like there's a lion chasing us. And it's constantly putting us in this place of alert, alert, alert. And it's very subtle, but it's chronic. And so the more you can develop ways of self-regulating, even singing, when you sing, and I'm not a singer, I'm a pianist, but I love to sing anyway, because I when you actually sing, there's a vibration that happens from your vocal cords that actually relaxes what's called the vagus nerve, and it's like a nerve that connects the brain to other parts of the body, etc. There's a lot of science behind it. You could look it up. I'm not an expert on that, but all I know is that I've always loved singing, and now I've recently learned that there's actually science backing up the physiological benefits of singing, that it actually helps you regulate your nervous system, right? So techniques like these, deep breathing, box breathing, counting out for 4, holding your breath for 4 and counting back in for 4 and holding your breath for 4. I love doing that as well. So just, you need to think about, what does this look like for you, right? I'm sharing my examples, but again, these are important. They're not optional. You need to have these practices throughout the day. Building empathy and social skills. Why is this important? Well, empathy will allow you to create more connection and to be able to listen to others and show genuine interest, for what they're doing, what they're wanting, and ultimately to be able to, through that listening, to provide constructive feedback. Building your empathy skills, social skills, it's something that you want to be very intentional about. And I honestly, it's one of my areas of growth because I tend to be someone who likes to just get quickly into action mode, like problem solving mode. Let's just go. There's something wrong. Let's fix it. Right. And so personally for me, developing a more empathetic approach and just being willing to put myself more in the position of the people around me and understand what they're going through has helped me become a more just, self-aware person, right? How can I serve this person in front of me, whether it's my family, my kids, my husband, my clients, my team, by not always needing to get into problem solving mode immediately, but to also just giving this person space to feel understood. There's so much power in developing that empathy chip, if you will, in your brain, right? And then, of course, maintaining motivation. Motivation is the key to achieving success and goals. And when you are clear in what you want to achieve and you set clear goals and are very specific in terms of timeline, and you're able to celebrate, the small wins every step of the way, this allows you to stay motivated and to keep that clear vision of what you actually want, right? So again, these 4 techniques are going to help you really become more aware of how can you be mindful in your day-to-day interactions with people and show up as a better leader, have your practices around self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy and social skills, and ultimately maintaining motivation. When you have these in your day-to-day plan in a conscious way, just like when you practice your instrument and something goes well, you want to be conscious about what did you do to get it to sound well, right? I remember practicing it in many, many hours in the practice room, and sometimes things would go well and I'd be like, wow, that came out well. I don't really know why. That was the worst feeling, right? You want to know what works and why does it work? So just like we do it in our instrument as we're practicing our craft, you want to do it in your emotional intelligence. What are the things that allow you to succeed? Be conscious about them. Create practices around them so that you can improve them, grow them over time, and feel empowered that you are not only building your business, growing your income, but also you are growing yourself on a personal way, on a personal basis. The journey of building a music business is so much related to your internal development as it is to the external results that you want to see. Now, there's a lot more to this, and I'll probably do many more episodes on this, but I want you to just take these nuggets from today and share with me, what do you feel is the most useful part of this? How are you applying emotional intelligence in your business now? Right? We explored the different concepts, the importance of it, practical ways that you can apply EI in your career. And I encourage you to start integrating these into your practice, into your day-to-day life, and ask yourself, how can I be a better leader? How can I be a better listener? How can I be someone that inspires people around me? Because I'm constantly in a journey of self-development. Hope this helps. Let me know what is your most exciting part of building your emotional intelligence. How has it helped you? As always, I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any feedback, I'd love to hear. Leave us a review so we can reach more people. And in the meantime, go ahead and work on your EI. EI is the key to building a successful business and leading people with integrity, with, creativity, with empathy, and ultimately building a life and a business that is meant for good. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, let's prosper together.